there. How's everyone doing? It is a beautiful Thursday night in the Bay Area. Welcome to the Humm Daddies, the original Humm Daddies, the Humm Daddies Classic, whatever you want to call us. I'm Jake Lucas. I am here with Jipper, who is Joaquin Phoenix on Letterman right now, it looks like, and Joe Starkey.
What is going on right now? He looks like Weekend at Bernie's with the sunglasses on. He's got the Arizona jersey on. Who are you?
Who is this man?
Listen, tonight is a night. We have a lot to talk about. It's time to make some sales. It's time to start figuring out what we're going to buy and trade and upgrade and downgrade and the rest of it. Maybe it's the off season for football. The Warriors are the trade deadline around the corner. We're in trouble. Giants are in the off season, have a lot of prospects to give. I mean, put on your sports coat jacket, be an agent, baby.
Okay.
Jake froze.
Jake's got an amazing pod.
Amazing freeze. All right. Well, hey, listen. First of all, Humm Daddies. We're on Thursday nights now. We've returned back to the middle of the week. Heat check on Tuesday. Humm Daddies Thursday. We'll release our Friday morning audio for all you guys who are traveling around the Bay to work or working from home. And with that, we're gonna let you know who we're sponsored by. Joe, Simon Knight and Edward Jones. Listen, your finances are in trouble. Whether you're trading players or you're trading crypto or you're trading today's hot, commodity on the market, Simon Knight's there to help lead the way. He's there to find you a place to put your NIL cash. 510-365-2371. Simon Knight at Edward Jones, 510-365-2371. See if Jake makes a return.
Like to see Simon Knight at this Sunday's event. We got a big AFC NFC Championship Sunday at my favorite bar, the Kingfish. I'm very excited. My bar, my town. It's going to be in Oakland at the Kingfish. Woo! Don't love the teams. Hate the team.
Hate the teams.
Hate the teams.
Can't stand
love
it.
The bar.
Love the bar. Hey, listen, we're going to meet you halfway in heaven and hell. What do you love about your Kingfish? Like, what I have been there a few times myself. I like the bar. It's very rustic, but like, what draws you in, Joe? Because we know it's your bar. You've been living for the opportunity, by the way, to have the private room upstairs, which is what the Humm Daddies watch party will have. If you decide to come out and hang out, free tickets. All are welcome.
It'll be a first time experience for me at the private room in the back. It's kind of like almost like an Airbnb adjacent to the back bar of Humm Daddies. I got the great, not Humm Daddies, we're the Humm Daddies at the Kingfish. I mean, that's how much I think of the Kingfish. It feels like one of us. They have that outdoor bar in the back, and then just adjacent to it is that those extra suites. So we'll be hanging out there. The reason I love the Kingfish, there's many, but I'll start with this. It's the first bar I ever went to. So
Whoa.
might not have been of age. Maybe not. We'll never know. But
childhood stories coming out.
Yeah, some nice young lasses wanted to go out, and they said, "Hey, let's go to this bar we know." I'm like, "We can't go to a bar." Anyway, we ended up there at the Kingfish. Didn't know what was going on. It was like a very low ceiling in the front there. They had the free popcorn, and what I remember from that first time is they had a ticket stub on the wall, and it was from a game that day. It was a Friday night, and they played day games at Wrigley Field. So there was a ticket stub from that very day against the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's wild.
On the wall. And I was just like, I thought I was in heaven. I couldn't believe it. Somebody that was at this bar tonight was at Wrigley Field earlier today. There's no way.
Yeah.
So, been a special place ever since. They actually picked up the bar and moved it across the street. It's such a cherished venue that they wouldn't, start new. They just brought the box over and moved it across the street. They got the old Harmon gym floor from the Cal Bears basketball team is the floor there in the front bar. It's just a magical place full of memories. I think it's 100 years old.
That's incredible. And it's also just one of those places that's got the classic indoor-outdoor vibe of Oakland and the Bay Area, where you go in the bar, but then you go out the back, you get a little outside time, get a breath, smoke a cigarette, whatever you need. I'm super stoked. We'll be doing a live pod there, a little heat check, little Humm Daddies combo action. Jake will be leading the way on both these pods, being the spokesperson for both. We'll see if he can make it there sober or not. I don't know. I'm sure he'll be sober. He'll be NA heavy. Jake, you're excited to go to the Kingfish?
No, I'm not. Yeah, dude. The Kingfish is a tried and true staple. So many memories there. Starkey and I saw Game 7 of the Warriors Sacramento series. When was that? That was the championship year, no? 2022? Or was that? No, that was a year later. When was that?
It was a year later.
Steph went for 50 in Game 7. Yeah, we saw that game there. It was just me and Starkey bellying up to the outside bar there, and that was a hell of a memory. We went there.
Definitely some 2022 Celtics championship game. I think you were there for that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just tons of memories. When I moved back here from LA in 2018, that's a spot me and a friend of the pod, or often mentioned on the pod, don't think he's listened to one, Danny Orsini, went there a lot in 18 and 19. So yeah, great time.
Are we expecting to get Dan Hader Orsini out there?
Yeah, he's going to be on call for work, but he said he's always dreamt of renting that room we're getting.
As have I.
There's a lot.
So if you see a gentleman in a highlighting, what do you call it, vest, like you're a road construction worker, that's our friend Danny. Be nice to him.
Safety vest. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, safety vest.
Maybe we'll all wear them out and just kind of make it a YMCA experience.
Yeah, maybe Devo-esque. They wear some bright colors. They're known to rock those. Has anyone talked about our financial advisor when I was gone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
You want to give it another round?
No.
A little extra bonus?
I'm good. What the hell, dude? I just got Sonic Internet yesterday, and it freezes up on me right away. What's that about? It's supposed to be like 10 times the power of Xfinity, so do better, Sonic. Jesus. But
gave you the ghost town.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I'm excited. I haven't been back there in quite a while, and to do another live pod and have friends locally that other fans of the podcast come out and meet. It's a great opportunity to mix and mold together.
You haven't been there so long. You were calling it Kingfisher. Was that just a typo? Was that an autocorrection?
That was me calling out John Fisher and really hurting the whole experience.
There's a bird named Kingfisher, so I think you were getting just like auto text.
Maybe it was like the mallard or something like that. I felt so involved that every bar in the Oakland is named after a bird.
Jipper's gonna jip. You know that. Albatross too was a good one, but that would have been walkable for me. But it closed down during COVID.
Oh, Albatross. Yeah, they used to play like board games and darts and all kinds of stuff there. That was a fun one.
Don't take away all this. At one point, I was hoping for us to draft the best bars or sports bars in all the Bay Area of what are left now, seemingly. But we'll get to those someday. And love some chatter back to us on what those could be.
Yeah, that'll be a great episode. I mean, we're going to have a lot of dead time here as that leads us to probably our first subject. But do you want to do what are you wearing, what are you drinking before that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm very curious as to what Dave's wearing and drinking, so let's save him for last. How about Joe Starkey?
Well, first I want to see what Dave just pulled up there because I almost had that same. We almost copied each other. Hills and Valleys Pilsner. Well, the answer is no. I just know what I have, but I had a Rice and Easy somebody put in my my refrigerator the other day for that godforsaken Seattle Seahawks Niners game. Horrible time that was.
Japanese lager though is amazing. That's a good one. Rice and Easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, is that like can you get that from Ranch 99? They have a couple really good like rice beers.
Rice beer is really good if it's done well. You gotta, it's nice and crisp. It's kind of a pilsner.
Yeah, Dave, I thought that green and white coloring, I thought you had a tequila you were pulling out there, if you remember those bad boys. I think they were made by Bud Light, tequila, Bud Lime.
That sounds kind of familiar. Yeah. Oh, Bud Light. Anything with that extra little flavor is always so gross.
Yeah.
That sounds puckery.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Opposite of a tequila, I got a nice Manhattan here. Thursday night goes down a little easier than a Tuesday night or a Monday night. I like this Thursday night situation we got going on here. It's very nice. And I got my town jersey here. We're going to be at an Oakland bar. Got my Oakland Warriors situation going on. Draymond Green. Old Draymond Green. And then my Montreal Expos hat. They got the old Montreal Expos festival coming back. That's what's going to happen to me. I'm going to be going to Oakland A's Fest in like 2040. Going to see Matt Stairs drink a Bud Light. This is a sad state of affairs for me. Anyway.
Wait, what's the situation?
So my brother in the Montreal Expos
drinking a Bud Light. Where is this?
No, so there's the Montreal Expos fans. They have a fest every year that they get all the old Expos players and fans together to like kind of have a reunion of sorts.
So you'll be,
and I can see my future. That's going to be me. I'm going to be going to like hang out with old A's fans in like 20 years, and hanging out with random A's players.
I hear the Kingfisher is a nice place to go.
Yeah, go there.
You can't call it the Kingfisher one more time. You're giving denied access from our
temple, and you're calling it the Kingfisher. Starkey, but you're a diehard Cubs fan now, so at least you have Kyle Tucker for a while, right? Oh no, I guess not.
No on to Alex Bregman. Oh gosh, I spent a lot of years hating that guy. It's gonna be tough to turn the page on that.
Yeah.
Jake, what are you drinking? What are you wearing?
Well, I got some water and I got my Michelob. Nice bottle. And more importantly, what am I wearing? Ghost Town is a great Bay Area brewery that I've frequented before in Oakland. So they hooked it up with a free hat. Hopefully that comes with, a podcast from their place. They have a couple tasting rooms, or I guess, what would you call those? Drinking rooms?
Tap rooms.
Tap rooms. There you go. And the only team that's relevant to me at all in football left are these guys. Flying Elvis, number 11, Drew Bledsoe.
It's Drew Bledsoe. Good stuff.
So, yeah, for those who don't know, I had a long period of being into the Patriots as my AFC team. All of a sudden, they became like the most winning and hated team ever. But I was really into Bledsoe. I liked Brady a lot when he started. I got super into the Randy Moss days of the Patriots, even though that didn't produce a championship. But yeah, I'll be sporting a Patriots jersey on Sunday. And if you want to,
so are you AFC then? Are you just going Patriots all the way?
I'm not going Rams or Seahawks, pal. I'll tell you that. So, yeah, I was really into the Patriots, and I had a lot of fun rooting for those kids. And I love those offenses back with young Gronk and Wes Welker and Edelman, and obviously Randy Moss, who's one of my favorite players ever, if not my favorite. So I'm repping the Pats this week, fellas.
Jake's Pats. Not as good as Jake's Cardinals, but pretty close.
Right.
So who do you fellas hate less, I guess is the way I'd put it? The Rams or the Seahawks? Who do you want to win that game? Yeah, dead silence. No, they can't both lose.
Yeah, I mean,
I want them to.
I think the Seahawks really earned. They beat the s out of us. So you got to give credit where credit's due. And seeing as the Niners with B team offense and defense beat the Rams, and the Rams almost lost to the Panthers, Rams almost lost to the Bears. I don't see how the Seahawks don't just wax these guys. So, I mean, I think the Seahawks will win. I'm not a fan of neither, but I give credit where credit's due. The Seahawks own the current Shanahan and Purdy Niners. And so
that's why I kind of don't want to root for the Seahawks, is because of that. Because if they keep feeling all confident, then they might just rip off 4 Super Bowls and then just rubber nose in it forever, because they have the talent to do it. And that's when I'm like, maybe if the Rams win one more and Stafford is getting ready to leave and then the Rams fall apart for a little bit, I can live with that. Or at least, maybe don't win one more, but win this game. I don't know. It's hard. I don't want any of these two teams to even have any shot, but one of them is going to the Super Bowl in Levi, which is just an awful, awful thing.
Oh, God.
Jake froze again too. That's too bad. All right. Well, Jake's gone. I'll do what I'm drinking and wearing. So first of all, back to field work, as I went over there a couple of days ago and grabbed a bunch of beers. And American Pilsner. This one is actually pretty juicy. I'm usually used to Pilsners being a little more on the lighter, crisp side. This is just, it's luscious. Really big fan. And then what am I wearing? Well, listen, guys, we were joking around. I was kind of joking that I wanted us all to show up here in some nice, sports coats. and put on our best sale job, because we got to sell Jonathan Kuminga. Someone's got to figure out a way to get this guy off the team. Someone has to tell Steve Kerr to play him every game for 30 minutes the rest of the season, because when Kerr is gone and we still have Jonathan Kuminga, there ain't going to be bright lights in San Francisco. So I got my Andre Iggy on, repping a little bit of Iggy, just because I figured, maybe the best place to trade Jonathan Kuminga is to a college team at this point, because it seems like most NCAA teams can support a player of his caliber. He's never gone to college before. I know that's not part of the rules. Maybe they'll change them, and we'll have an opportunity to get some cash for Kuminga back into the NCAA. There you go. That's my shtick tonight.
Well, I mean, Jonathan Kuminga is such a pain in the ass that Steve Kerr might retire. That's the new news, is that he is one of his assistants speculated that this might be his last year, which I would just be devastated. I love Steve Kerr. He's a staple in my sports world. I mean, there's Steph Curry and then there's Steve Kerr. That's kind of the pecking order. I'm wearing the Draymond Green tonight, but Steve Kerr is it, for me. Yeah. And that is shockingly scary news for me. I don't, we've been so lucky to have that guy at the helm for 10 years?
We take it for granted. We just take it for granted because we have Steph. We assume as long as Steph is there, you expect Steve to stick around. And that's not the case, to your point. Steve's got his own prerogatives. He's got a lot of championships. He's got other things to do. And if this team is flailing, and if Lacob is forcing the hand of Steve Kerr to do things he doesn't believe in, then Steve will leave. Simple as that. Right?
I mean, I think Steve does whatever he wants to do. He's got 9 rings, and he just is. Nobody's going to tell him what to do. So I don't even think that's it. I think he's just sort of not loving it right now. I don't think he's enjoying this situation. I don't, Steve Kerr is not here just to make bucks. He's already made the bucks. He's got the rings. Yeah. He's got nothing to prove. He's here for the love of coaching and the enjoyment of getting better. And I think he's stalling out. I don't think he quite sees a future in the love of the game right now. So, hope that changes quick. I don't like it.
I mean, that's one of the hard things for a lot of these older coaches that have been around the block and have seen all of the great teams and have seen the chemistry that makes a great team, have worked on it from scratch, have played on it. And Steve Kerr's done so many of these things. He's been on so many great teams. For him to see mediocrity and also see that no one can really pick up what he's putting down, I think he's going to struggle with why am I going to continue to struggle and try and teach someone who can't learn or doesn't have the aptitude, perhaps. That's what I see happening right now, is that, maybe these guys are passionate about basketball, but not in the aptitude, intellectualizing the game to be, at that championship level, versus I'm really here to just be good enough so I can get my paychecks and move on. I know that's not all the Warriors, but I certainly believe that some are less focused on being championship level than others. And we have those guys. We just lost, obviously, Jimmy Butler to a horrific ACL injury. Just one more Bay Area sports hero, not hero, but sports superstar who just drops. And it's pretty depressing as a first as a 49ers fan all year, now as a Warriors fan, to get a dose of this. You hope that Jimmy can come back sooner than later, but in the meantime, all you can do is speculate. What are the Warriors going to do to try and prop up a team that's not good enough to win a playoff series right now?
Well, speaking of not good enough to win, I'm just looking at the score. They lost to the Mavericks tonight, 123-115. Curry with 38 points. And it looks like our guy Kuminga has a knee issue that he came out of the game with. So, God. Just fucking shoot me now.
One thing after the
shoot me now.
Knees.
We should have stuck with our sit-em program where he just sits on the bench, and then we have a little bit of trade value there. Now we try to play him and gets freaking injured.
Yeah, well,
let's see how Clay did. Clay play? Big 6 points for Clay Thompson. Okay,
huge on threes.
Anyway, this is a bad trend. They lost to Toronto. Now they're losing here or they lost to the Mavericks tonight. So it doesn't look good, fellas. So we had the huge freaking loss to the Seahawks, 41-6, I believe. Gosh, that's embarrassing. Then immediately after, we have Jimmy Butler getting injured and ACL out for the season. So Kerr talking about retiring or not coming back next year. So it looks bleak. Looks real bleak. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, hey, Sonic, this better not be the trend. Okay, I just replaced my internet yesterday on my wife's discretion. Joe Starkey gave a positive review to Sonic. We pulled the trigger, and right now Xfinity has it beat out. Okay, I don't know if it's because I didn't restart my computer in time, but weird. Anywho,
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, Speedy.
Yeah, and what's going on with Ray Charles over here?
Excuse me?
You. Yeah. What the question? Yeah.
Weekend at Humm Daddies.
What is there to do with Jonathan Kuminga? What do we do with the Kuminga problem? Well, today that loss was pretty brutal.
Drake's gone again.
I am?
Wait, you're back. You zacked on us for a second there and went a little pixely.
Oh, okay. Well,
uncountry.
I don't know, man.
Shit. We might not have Jake for this pod.
Yeah, Jake, you might have to retire. Thanks, Sonic. Love you.
Can you bump off your phone, perhaps this evening? Spitting image of Mr. Jacoby Lucas.
At least he's better than last time.
If we can get him back, I would like to.
Wow. All right.
Go through. He's making his way. So I figure we do a formal 49ers autopsy here.
Sure.
And the way I'd like to go about doing is I have 3 clips from the press conference post end of season, and 3 clips that I'll play for you, give you a little bit of the question that came in, and then we'll kind of talk about what we kind of feel like that means for the outlook of the team this year or next year, and what happened this year. I mean, it's a little bit of a remembrance because this was not a season to be forgotten. There's a lot of great players on this team who may not be playing next year, who only have a few seasons left. And there's kind of a trajectory that this team is going in, hopefully in a positive direction with a lot of great draft picks that they had this past season, some of which got hurt. But for the most part, I think a lot of those guys played pretty well. So, things are trending up in some areas, down in the others. And, it's going to be a hills and valleys for the 49ers coming up. And I don't know if we're going to get Jake back. So
well, yeah, before you get into that, that tape there, Gypsy, I want to reflect on how great of a season I thought it was for the 49ers. I have the bitterest of bitter taste losing those 2 games to the Sea Chickens. Week 18 and then the divisional round. Embarrassing. I didn't even finish pouring my drink before we were down 7-0, and that was just something we couldn't afford to do.
Oh.
So, I mean, I'm not over it, but I do want to. A week has passed here or so, and I want to reflect on what an awesome season this team did. The moxie that they showed, the resilience, the ingenuity to get this batch of players to win so many games was kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Brock Purdy was out. Kittle was out. We had who knows what kind of linebackers. We were on our 6th, 7th, 8th linebackers in the playoffs. It was incredible what this coaching staff pulled off. Shanahan and Saul, they did incredible. Saul especially, they did just incredible job. The Mac Jones experience, like winning that game, there was 3 incredible wins. If you look at this season, that I will remember forever. The first game was pretty good. The Seattle Seahawks, I'm not even including that, but you had the Rams game on Thursday night, right? That was the most surprising of all of them. That was amazing.
Yeah,
the Mac Jones one, where he looks like he was like getting
carted off
the field and somehow won that game.
On Kyron Williams at the goal line.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Al Collins with the strip and recovery as he's going in to win the game or to keep the game alive. That was incredible. The Bears game that we saw at Pond Farm was just a good old fashioned shootout. That was a delight. I mean, what a game that was! And then to win that Eagles game in Philadelphia. Yeah. This was a very memorable season in a positive way, I would say.
100%.
What do you think there, Gypsy?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Joe, you nailed it. It was memorable for so many different reasons. Obviously, there was heartbreak so often with the injuries, but there was so much uplifting from those losses because guys stepped in that you didn't know of, and they showed the resiliency through the great coaching and preparation. I mean, and here's the other thing. This is our first full season doing this podcast, Humm Daddies. And so we got to sit down regularly and really think about this, talk about it, express it like we may have done when we were in our 20s living in a college dorm with our friends. We don't get to do that as much anymore. And we got to live it in a whole different way. And it made the experience of the season that much better, just getting to chat about it and listen to other podcasts that we support in the sporting podcast world. I never thought I'd listen to Kruger so much, let alone Damon or the PMP team. Like, it was just, it's nice to kind of, not that we're in those families and in those arenas at all yet, but like to just be a part of that, world has been pretty exciting. And it was a great 49ers season for that, just because of those ups and downs. I mean, listen, Mac Jones was one of my favorite players this season, but so was Brock Purdy, because of the fact that he had to come back and take so much abuse from fans saying, this guy doesn't belong here. Now he does. And there's so much up and down with these guys, but the resiliency of these players to just go about doing their business and showing up was really one of the things I enjoyed the most about this team.
In addition to resiliency, I thought the lack of ego, the team spirit really shined through. Right, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy in particular, they pretty much went back and forth. The team dynamic never seemed to shift. It was always the next man up kind of dynamic. And you could just, you watch enough sports, not all teams are like that. Not all teams on a professional level are pulling for each other. And these guys were all pulling together this year. Yeah. It was just a joy to watch. And when they succeeded, it felt like we succeeded. And like you said, I haven't had a season like this where I got so invested in a long time.
And I think Fred Warner, the whole story of Fred Warner was like, what we never got to see him come back. We always had this dream of he would. And even just the experience of like the hope that he might was kind of a fun hope to have, because it felt like there was this magical element of the team. We didn't get to have that piece, but just the feeling of it, like taking presence that if Fred came back, what could be? Listen, it was a bend but don't break team this year, and we were breaking down as the whole season went along, but we were still like building ourselves back up. And so I love that Fred was almost back, was ready to go, and he was excited to try and make it back, which I think led that team from the sidelines. And I think, same thing, George Kittle, he was out of the season for the first 5 games too, and that put a huge burden on other guys to step up. I mean, it was just up and down the board. The level of people stepping in, it showed that this team unto itself as a great team was top notch. One of my favorites, just as a team, not necessarily win-loss record and outcome of the season, but great teams. This is a memorable 49ers season for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really appreciate it. And, the thing is, you lose the last game of the year every year, except, if you make the playoffs, I guess you could win the last game if you don't make the playoffs. But pretty much you're always kind of ending the season on a down note unless you win the whole thing. So I think it's just kind of par for the course. And I was going back remembering all the tough playoff losses. And I remember like almost every one of them. But I don't remember all the wins. So it's just kind of you keep that last game and it just sticks with you for the whole freaking year. And
none more than Shanahan. Shanahan has been living that his entire career, and that guy every time another one he has to like take it on the chin. And we'll get to one of the clips with Shanahan. You can hear in his voice just how frustrated and angry he is that he's in that place again, because he wants to be on the other side more than anybody else. You may like him, you may hate him, but the guy wants to win the Super Bowl, I think, more than anybody. And that's probably one of his faltering points, is that he wants to win so bad he might shoot himself in the foot along the way. But Jake, I'm glad to have you back. We're glad to have you back. It looks like your internet is clean. We want to bring you into the 49ers conversation, but I want to make sure we get some of these audio clips out.
You guys
so we
keep
can
rolling.
I'll
just pipe in if I have to. I just got this installed yesterday. Give me, you gotta
work out the kinks, baby. And nothing. All right. So with that, Joe, are you ready for some clips here?
Roll tape.
All right. So the first one here is the question was pretty much talking about Mac Jones. Do we think Mac Jones has a chance to stick around with the 49ers? Will we trade him? Is the thought maybe his trade value so high, let's get rid of him? Here we go.
Yeah, awesome conversations with him, just like I did with a number of players. We, as any player on our team, including myself and John, you always listen to people with trade offers, but we're also not into getting rid of good players, and so I'd be very surprised if Mac wasn't around us next year.
Mac made this place better. He was outstanding this season. He picked us up in a huge way, and it was a really fun process to watch him come in and the joy that he was playing with. He's got an infectious attitude that affects everybody on our team. It affected that quarterback room. You talk to Brock. Brock will tell how he made him a better player. Biggest thing he did is when we needed him, which came early in the season, he went in there and won us a lot of football games, and he kept us in this thing. And so I can't say enough about Mac, not only his play, his leadership. I call it leadership. Do you make people around you better? And I think Mac did that all season.
Joe, Jake, I want your thoughts. Is Mac coming back? Are we going to trade him? Is there any reason to trade him? Is his value that high? What do you guys think?
I'd like to keep him. It depends what the trade value is. If we get a first round pick for him, sure, I guess. Just coming off this season where every gosh darn player gets injured for the season or just catastrophic injuries, I kind of like having some decent backups. So quarterback is a place I like to feel secure in. He's clearly a great team player. He filled the role very well this year. I say run it back.
As much as I'm a rah-rah Shanahan guy, I mean, I am in this situation because I think he's really good with backup quarterbacks. Like he has these projects that he can shape up after, a rough start to their career. It happened with multiple guys. He brought the best out of Matt Ryan. He brought the best out of Sam Darnold. He kind of, I think, gave him a rebirth. So I say maybe you got to trade Mac first if you can get some actual, either a high draft pick or a couple tangible things that could help us next year. If the market's good for him, then trade him. And you owe it to him, too. He saved the whole year. Like, we wouldn't have made the playoffs without Mac Jones.
You know what, Jake? The market might be pretty good. There's some crap quarterbacks there at the bottom of the league. So I wouldn't mind having a new defensive end, a new linebacker, a new wide receiver.
Even a new guard, a new center.
Oh, new center. Oh.
Yeah.
Listen, I think those are both very realistic points of view on this, and certainly they answered this perfectly because they said we want to keep Mac Jones. He's that valuable to us. They're selling well that they could take a trade. I honestly am a little more on the Jake side. If Shanahan's this good with every backup, then one of our values of keeping Shanahan is to keep preparing the next great quarterback in the NFL behind Brock Purdy.
And get assets for him after you train him.
And get assets. Train him up, send him off, ship him in, ship him out, get the value.
I am hard on Shanahan. I'm unfair a lot, but what he is obviously good at is working with quarterbacks. I mean, look how awful Jimmy Garoppolo was after the Niners. Look how awful Sam Darnold was and how good he has been since the Niners. Look at how Mac Jones fall off after his rookie year, and Shanahan knows what he's doing with the quarterbacks. That's something that's definite. That's a fact. So if we can keep bringing in these guys who blow up on the Jets, probably it's either the Jets or it's the Browns or one of the worst three teams in the league that always blow it with quarterbacks. The Raiders. Bring those guys in, turn them into they have the talent, that, and then trade them for assets.
Maybe we can strike a deal with the Tennessee Titans because I know that head coach might like Mac Jones, knows him well.
Oh, solid. He's the Titans coach now. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Adrian Martinez, it sounds like the job is yours. No, okay.
Well, he's not a reclamation project.
All right. Great coverage. Let's go on to the next one.
By the way, Dom Prolpa says new center. Hell yeah, Jake Brendel. That guy sucks.
Yeah,
right?
Likes Brendel.
Oh, and NorCal Refrigeration. I love seeing you on the chat, buddy. Good to meet you at the Christmas party. Great.
Let us know when you're ready to sponsor.
Yeah.
No, it's good stuff. All right.
I want to go a little further on this Jake Brendel because it occupied so much of my mind this football season. So my evaluation of him, not that I'm an offensive line evaluator, is he's actually pretty good in space. Like when they're doing kind of a trap play or a misdirection or a screen, he gets downfield, he hits his blocks. He's kind of mobile. But when you're trying to run the ball up the gut, the guy gets pushed around like a rag doll. He's just, we couldn't move the line at all. Short and third and short, or any short distance, we had to like do some kind of misdirection or screen pass. We couldn't. There was nowhere to go. It was like a brick wall. So Jake Brendel, love you. Have sayonara. Bye bye.
Who's an unrestricted free agent is Ben Barch. He was huge this year, wasn't he?
Oh, that guy. He's on our all paper mache team with Ricky Pearsall.
That guy's really not fond of the electromagnetic field.
Great segue. Here we go. Next clip. Oh, I'll give you the intro. So the person asking the question was pretty much saying, Ricky Pearsall, listen, what's going on? Did he train enough? Was he prepared for the season? He just didn't hold up. Here we go.
Yeah, I thought he did that last offseason, though. I thought Ricky had an awesome offseason last year. He got through all of training camp. Was one of our few wideouts who did all of training camp, I think minus the first 5 days. And I thought he went into the season as ready, much more ready than the year prior. Added some weight, was able to get through a training camp because he did train the right way. And that's why I thought he went into those first few weeks of the season ready to go. I think if you guys saw the film or you saw his stats, the stats did match the film. I think he was leading the league in a lot of categories before he got hurt, I want to say versus Jacksonville. And then he landed on his knee in the wrong way. And when you land on your knee in the wrong way and you hurt your PCL, sometimes that can last a week, like Puka last year. Sometimes it can last 7 weeks.
He just called Ricky Pearsall the P word, basically.
He might not be back next year.
Well, this is what I love. Shanahan loves drafting these guys like Ricky Pearsall over defensive players or offensive linemen, and that's a strategy that they've stuck to forever. Brandon Ayuk was drafted very early, and he was awesome for a while. But what do you guys – I mean, this to me is more about the Niners' strategy of thinking offensive linemen aren't the difference between a highly skilled player and an offensive lineman in the draft to Kyle Shanahan is 3 or 4 rounds. He wants the skill guys up front and he wants the linemen in the back. And I don't think that's worked out that well.
Yeah, no, I agree. At least get the linemen in free agency if you're not going to draft them. You can't do neither one of them. I guess we traded for Trent. We re-signed McKivitz, but yeah, it's kind of it's an afterthought. And yeah, I agree with you, Jake. The game is kind of initiated up at the line, and when I'm watching these Niner games, we have no push on either side. It's kind of hard to watch.
I will say this. I agree with Shanahan what he was trying to present in that Ricky Pearsall is a skilled player that can produce. He did produce and has produced. This is only his second season when he's healthy. But what you can't know, what film won't tell you, is how a guy is going to be in the NFL when it comes to taking hits and getting beat up and having to get up and play after play. And Ricky Pearsall has not proven he can get up and keep playing. And, the PCL injury is real, and you don't know how much you can, it's a pain threshold thing along with, just your physique. And, did he get too much weight on his body? We've talked about this before. Did he get too muscly in the offseason, train too much, and now he's carrying the weight around and is banging around when he needs to be a slender wide receiver? I don't know, but you won't know that in a draft until the guy's on the field. And so how do you figure out toughness from the draft? That is something that the Niners need to be focusing on, is the toughness element, because I'd like to have more of those guys on the team, because those guys like the Jennings of the world, we need to have a few of those guys on this Niners team moving forward.
Yeah, the durability.
Yeah, and I mean, but also, it's not only that I don't get, like you said, Joe, to second my point and then to go on your point, similar points. The trenches are where the NFL is won, and so I don't get why there's not more of a value placed on that. Why are there these franchises that continually finish at the bottom of the league that draft quarterback one every year after every year?
Yeah.
Raiders are going to draft Mendoza. Like, you don't have an offensive line. How is that going to help anything? You have a top running back and he can't get, find a hole. So
I think Shanahan looks at every 300. I think Shanahan looks at every 300-pound man and says, I mean, do they move pretty well? Well, we'll teach them how to play offensive line in my scheme.
But you
I
get
think
my
that's
point
how he evaluates them.
With
I do.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous in my opinion, especially with the bottom teams in the league. What are they doing?
Yeah. All right.
Well, I also kind of I have a beef with the type of offensive lineman that Shanahan's going after, the Jake Brendels. They can get around on all his fancy schemes, but they can't, get a 4th and 1 across.
Or a 3rd and 1.
Or a 3rd and 1. We have you would think it really would affect his play calling when they know you can't run it up the middle on whatever in short. So anyway, there's a guy named Tyler Lindenbaum who's a stud All-Pro center for the Baltimore Ravens. I've been hoping we can figure out a way to get him in free agency.
Yeah, I just if you can't push, especially the quarterback sneak. Oh, it's Dave's internet now, isn't it?
Unreal.
I think he tricked me up one of those times when he said it was mine. I think it might have been his for a sec, but neither of ours are great, I guess. You gotta take a moment to laugh at this. This is an all-timer.
Yeah, you got to power through. I'm next, buddy. Let's see.
Anyway, where was I?
You're talking about offensive lineman Shanahan.
Shanahan has this arrogance, and I think I've made that clear. Or even defensive specialty guys like Cooper DeJean would have been a way. That's who I really wanted them to draft over Ricky Pearsall in 2024. And he was an immediate impact player for the Eagles. But instead we got Ricky Pearsall, and we didn't need him at the time because we had Debo and we had Ayuk, and it was and Juwan. So that was nonsense. I did not appreciate that draft pick. And now you're seeing what it has become. How's that internet, Dave? Huh? Shoes on the other foot.
Man, I was never making fun of you when you lost your internet, first of all. So I'd appreciate you.
Projected and cost me a segment.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry to miss out.
You got one more of those.
I got one more. I got one more delicious treat. This one is specially made and delivered for your Jake Lucas, Shanahan hero fan favorite.
Stuff. Did he not drop the end stuff today?
Oh, baby, I got exactly what you need. You are hooked on my good. Okay. So here's what you have. The question is more or less, what kind of big moves might the Niners need to make in the offseason? Now, listen, this clip went on for about 3 minutes. I had to cut it down to about a minute and a half. So there's going to be some cuts and chops just to make this more listenable, audible. But here we go. Sorry, hold on a second.
Is it time to try to make some more dramatic moves to try to take a bigger leap?
Yeah, that is a broad question. Yeah, last year was a huge challenge. We've salary cap wise and what we've gone for numbers of years. That's why when we did have significant injuries to some very good players, yeah, it was more daunting. That would have been in years past because the guys we would have hung on when you lose a guy like Fred or you lose a guy like Nick, those guys we lost because of free agency and stuff that we had to do because of the previous year. So yes, if you would have told me that we lost those guys before the season with what we were going into, I wouldn't have expected us to have the record and stuff that we did. And I thought we did play well. I thought our players grinded and overcame a ton of things this year, and it gave us a chance to make the playoffs. And I never sit there and say like, oh, this will be successful if we just get close to the playoffs or something like that. I mean, we always expect to try to compete for the playoffs. We know some seasons are going to be harder than others, which we thought this would be. You can't get that far if that isn't possible. So we're real disappointed right now with how the season ended, and I'm still dealing with that, which it'll get easier over the weeks and stuff, and putting our coaching staff together, which, obviously losing Robert and stuff, what helps you on this year, what helps you to the next year, and all that stuff is connected.
He was on fire at the end.
Guys didn't give me that sound like a confident head coach or not, fellas?
Thought you would enjoy that one.
Dude, did I? Yeah, thank you for saving that for the end. I think you knew exactly what my thoughts would be, and it linked up perfectly and stuff. So thank you and stuff.
Yeah, I think this is what I was alluding to earlier in the conversation, which is Shanahan, when he loses these types of games and the season's over, he has a tough time reconciling his feelings and emotions with how much work and effort he puts in, which is a lot. He's obsessed. He's an obsessed head coach who wants to win a Super Bowl, and he's not getting what he believes are the fruits of his labor.
Joe?
Yeah, the guy had a great year. Sorry.
He did. He had a great year, but he still is the same Shanahan Jake knows and loves.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. I need to remind everybody every year. Yeah, he had a good year. Guess what? We're the 49ers. We don't accept good years. We need a GD championship. We need a GD Super Bowl. It's been 31 GD years, and he had it twice. He blew it twice.
So I don't know if you guys will go on this ride with me, but I'm just full of loathing and self-hatred right now.
Oh.
And I've been thinking about all the worst playoff losses of my lifetime the San Francisco 49ers have had. And I was wondering if you guys will draft it with me.
Draft it? Okay.
Or rank with me. I could do it all by myself.
Yeah, it seems like you are really passionate about this one, so go for it.
Yeah, I want you to...
I am. Because I was just going back and it's like, I know that the 49ers have the most playoff appearances since the merger, which is incredible. But along with that, unless they win a Super Bowl, they're going to have a playoff loss. And I'm looking at these, and there's just a lot of heartbreaks. More than our fair share, I think.
I just looking at your list, I'll let you read it in a second here, but I feel like you're missing a couple of really bad losses with Steve Young in the 90s. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, go ahead, start there. What's the Steve Young plot? I mean, I'll tell you what I'm not missing. I'll start with the ones I'm not missing from Steve Young. I'm not missing the 1992 NFC Championship game where they lost to the Dallas Cowboys in the mud. Did not forget that one. That sucked. I'm not forgetting when they played in Irving at the Cowboys Stadium the following year, 93.
Yeah, those are the ones
they got the shit kicked out of them. That one.
I'm thinking of the two Packers losses. There was a divisional round that we lost where we were probably going to be pretty good.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we lost yet again the next year in I believe the NFC Championship game, and that's when Brett was throwing to what's the wide receiver's name? I couldn't stand
Donald Driver. No, who is it?
No,
Donald Driver.
Yeah,
they'll come to me.
Oh, Anthony Freeman.
That was it.
Wow.
Anthony Freeman used to own the Niners. He was like Harper.
For a couple of years, but yeah.
Sterling was good. He was a great player, but he didn't own us like Freeman used to always get the big catch.
Packers teams, right? Yeah,
right.
Was right before. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Joe, sorry, that was just one of the things that jumped out at me. But go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely. I feel like the reason why those didn't jump out to me as much is they just weren't that close.
That's a good point.
Brett Favre kind of owned us from like 95 to 2001.
Once Ricky Waters left in 94, those Niners teams weren't even close to as good, honestly.
Right.
The one that also from that era that kind of stands out is when I was just a wee lad, the Roger Craig fumble.
Oh my God.
1990 NFC Championship at the Stick against the Giants, which was also the Leonard Marshall hit, if I recall, when Joe Montana just got obliterated.
Steve Young came in, yeah.
Steve Young, I guess that's also a Steve Young one.
He was in there late. That was also the chance for a three-peat, first one ever. And no one's done it, have they? No.
Nope.
Looking at you, Patriots. Yeah. I don't think so.
Kansas City had their shot and blew it.
But yeah, Joe, that was one of my early football memories. That was probably in 91, early 91. It was the 90 season.
Well, it was probably January 91.
And I remember that like it was yesterday in my living room growing up. That Roger
Craig love you, Roger Craig, but not that time.
That Roger Craig fumble sent such a depression like across my house because I have an older brother, a dad that are both diehard Niners fans. I must have been 6 or 7, and yeah, brother was 16, dad, in his early 40s. That was rough. That was a rough one. No doubt about it.
Yeah. All right. Then I kind of go to all the Harbaugh close ones. And the first one, obviously, I'm thinking about not in sequential order, is since we just lost to the Seahawks, that one in 2013. Was it 2013? 2012.
Which one? The Bowman one?
The Bowman break his leg.
That was 2013 season.
Recovered the fumble. It was a 20 what season?
13 season.
It was a 2013 season. You're right. Okay. The Ravens Super Bowl was 2013, but in the beginning of the year. Okay, so the 2013 season, that was kind of the end of the Harbaugh era, I guess, right?
Well, he did the first season at Levi's and went 8-8 and very vanilla team, and
yeah, they kind of petered out from there. But I remember that Richard Sherman got a hand on it. The Kaepernick was driving, and Crabtree and Vernon Davis were catching balls. Frank Gore, they were moving. Looked like they were gonna take the lead with like less than a minute to go, and fucking Richard Sherman gets his hand up there, tips it to his own guy. Game over. That was brutal.
Yeah, and then
post
game. Mm-hmm. Crabtree? Who's Crabtree? That's what you were talking about. Who's this Crabtree? Who's talking to me? Crabtree? You kidding me? Crabtree?
Yeah. And then 2011, one of my favorite years that kind of came out of nowhere. Justin Smith, I remember, was a beast on that team, and Alex Smith, and that was the Saints. They beat the Saints out of nowhere on that divisional game, and then they went to go play the Giants. They got to play an NFC Championship game at home. I was freaking there. It was raining, a nasty day. Kyle Williams fumbles twice. I thought Ahmed Bradshaw fumbled and Patrick Willis recovered, but they called him down. Alex Smith had we were on our fifth wide receiver. It was just Vernon Davis and Alex Smith and nobody. That one was brutal. So and then the next year, you had the Ravens. The Ravens game with they're at the Superdome where the lights went out and Beyonce was singing. Almost won that game. We were on the goal line. I don't even know which one's worse of those three. Those three are horrible.
The Harbaugh era not having a Super Bowl is one of the
feels like a
things. It's close to the SF Giants early on when they moved here with Mays and McCovey, like that 62 World Series.
Yeah.
They didn't beat the Yankees. That's how good that Niners team was, 11, 12, 13. And the 93 Giants, Will Clark, there's so many, and 02 Giants. The Niners luckily haven't had 23 Niners. That's another one, but they haven't had the sob story as much as the Giants, and that's why it was so amazing when the Giants finally won. Because the Niners were the first team to put the Bay Area on the map for championships. I mean, the Warriors won in '75. No one cared about the NBA back then.
They played in San Francisco.
Niners created San Francisco after. I mean, it already had the drugs and the rock kind of reputation. But
also, Jake, sorry to interrupt you, but the Niners are the only Bay Area team born and raised in San Francisco until they left to go to Santa Clara. So that's a meaningful franchise.
Yeah, I'm an actor, and I shot a scene in Kezar, and it was so cool to just think of my uncle who went to Oakland Tech was a fullback for John Brody's Oakland Tech, and to think of John Brody playing in Kezar, it was crazy, man. That was super cool. Feeling those vibes. It's a Niner city, even still.
Yep.
I won't belabor this anymore, but the other one that I kind of think about, which is the closest one we probably had, was the overtime loss to the Chiefs. Which, as hard as this season was to win every game, all the injuries and overcome all this adversity, it's just and you look up and you're like, gosh, it's still a ways to get to that Super Bowl, to get to that Lombardi. And to think of how freaking close we were. Who's been that close? Not too many teams.
And we're stacked. We're the most stacked. I put 94 and 23 as the best paper rosters the Niners have ever had.
Greenlaw injury, I think, was and the fact that
I got to interrupt you. 89 is really good.
Yeah. But on paper, 94 was basically 89. Just substitute Joe Montana and add.
I would say 94 is the best, but 89 is right up there.
I mean, well, they're the best actual Niners team, but on paper, sure. Okay, let's add 89. 89, 94. And 2023.
But listen, 2023, we didn't have Greenlaw for most of the game, and Kittle came out for the second half, I think. And so,
he was
listen,
getting shot up. Him and Debo were getting shot up, I believe.
Yeah, but you're not the same.
I understand. Yeah. We had a McCaffrey fumble early, okay? And then we started the third quarter with 3 Brock dropbacks that made no sense after we ran the ball very well in the first half. Anyway, and the fourth quarter was mismanaged. The overtime was mismanaged. But what are you going to do? That was the best, as an adult, that was the best 49ers team I've ever seen. And I can't believe they dropped the ball on that.
Squandered it. Squandered.
But, you hijacked the show with this. It's a very passionate topic.
It is.
Well, I mean, we need to get it out of this.
Yeah, well,
you have to prepare yourself for this.
We have the Seahawks is like not even top 20. Like,
yeah,
kind of small potatoes.
And there's a lot of heartbreak before. I mean, that it sounds like, if I remember the Redskins championship game that we talked about last week with the Niners coming back from 21-0 and all those BS PI penalty, the PI calls. That sounds like a real heartbreaker.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll recap it real quick. I didn't watch it live. I was 0 years old, pretty much. But the Redskins were up 21-0, and in the fourth quarter, Montana brought them back, tie game, 21-all. And the Redskins are going down the field and get 2 egregious penalties with, I think a couple minutes left in the game. And basically ices it. I think one was holding on Ronnie Lott, and one was a pass interference on Griffin or one of the cornerbacks. Anyway, if you look back at those calls, they're bullshit, and that could have been another one for those guys. They could have been 5-time champions of the 80s.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, are there any early 2000 ones that, like Mariucci days? I think most of those were either won or we got blown out in the playoff.
Yeah, the only bad loss I remember was the one against the Falcons, where Garrison Hurst broke his ankle on the shitty turf in Atlanta, and that team was, I think, going to be well suited to, give hell to the Randy Moss Vikings in an NFC Championship game. And I think the Niners could have beaten that Falcons team. I think the Falcons team was very good that year with the Dirty Bird. But I think the Niners were getting hot at the right time until Garrison Hurst went down, and then it was all over.
Good call.
Was that 98?
98.
Great call. Yeah, that was the season that started with Hurst with the overtime TD against the Jets.
I was at that game. Joe Starkey, my namesake, great call on that Garrison Hurst overtime touchdown. I still
have that on a VHS that's in this garage in this house, I believe. I taped like Bono at the Grammys, and I taped Garrison Hurst against the Jets.
That's great. Speaking of being a child, I think it's time to do a little bit of, what have we been doing as daddies? It's been a while. We feel like we're in a Ninerville for such a long time. We forgot we even had children.
I know. To all the women out there, including my wife, and I think all of our wives, the show was more enjoyable when we talked about women and shows and kids. And this whole Niners thing is just...
I don't think we've ever talked about women before, but certainly our children.
We've talked about women.
Sure. Only when you're going to go be a fancy lady going to the Sharks game, Jake. then he blew up on TikTok.
Oh,
it was in jest. Okay, go ahead.
I know, it was a jest. I just like to bring it back for joke's sake.
All right, Jake,
yes,
what do you got?
I got it on the head. So, funny story about our kids. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old beast of a whatever. I don't know what to call him. He's a nutcase. Joe has 2 kids. Dave has 1 and 1 on the way. So and that was announced. I didn't break any news there. Correct?
No, that's fair.
Okay. So yesterday my wife had to do a bunch of work for work after work time. I picked my daughter up from daycare. I had to get my iPhone cleaned. I got the internet switched. I had 3 auditions, mind you. It was a crazy day, and I need to figure out what's going on with the upload speed here for this new Sonic. But anyhow, I took 2 my 2 kids to my parents' house, and I realized on the way, my daughter, my 3-year-old sweetheart Mila, just a little princess, would go, "Oh, come on!" Like if it was a red light, she'd go, "Give me a break! Stop it!" And I was like, "What the hell is going on back here?" That's what my wife does when she's in the car with her, and I'm not around. My wife has road rage, and Mila mimics her questioning lights, questioning cars. What are you doing? What's going on? This is a 3-year-old little blonde girl. So that was quite a realization.
That is chef's kiss there, Jake. I love that. Great one.
Yeah, you got one on the old Leachy there.
I mean, their memories are so good and they're so ripe to sponge everything in. They're recorders, and so you got to be extra careful, especially ages like 2.5 to probably like, I don't know, 20. That anything you say, they could pretty much repeat right back to you. And so, especially when they're young and you don't think they're paying any attention, and they are. Whew.
They are.
Yeah, Jordy's doing mimicry. He's like me. I think he's going to be into theater and stuff. He's just like, like if I'm yelling or something, he mimics my body movement. He's scared. He's good at mimicking. But anyway.
I look forward to seeing that because you've got some interesting movements from time to time when you're having in a rough football game and you're not winning bets.
Yeah.
Even better when you do win them, as we recall from last year's Super Bowl, and we'll talk about what we're going to watch the Super Bowl this year. But yeah, that wasn't. Maybe that's where he first got glimmers of where his theater theatrics would live.
Yeah, I might have to get some wagers going for this Sunday at the old Kingfish.
Not through me. I'm clean of wagers now.
Okay.
All right, Joe, do you got a kid moment this week?
Well, before we came on the air here, I was getting ready, did a little dinner, pajama, that whole bedtime thing. But my daughter Kendall just really likes this game of hockey-talkie hide and seek. So we get the walkie-talkies she found, and she just puts it around her neck and just talking up a storm. I mean, she's a real talker. This one's just bossing everybody around at her preschool. And so she's like getting me and her older brother to play hide and seek, but she's got a walkie-talkie, and my son, and it's not a great idea. They're talking to each other. They're trying to hide. I can hear you. You're giving yourself away. But for some reason, she loves the hockey-talkie hide and seek. And my son won tonight. I actually walked on top of him when he was hiding under a blanket. Did a pretty good job.
Did you crush him?
No. I just kind of tripped on him. It was a good time. But yeah, I second your thought about how they're just like little recorders. They just remember everything.
Totally. My turn?
Yeah.
So, sure. So I for the first time in over 2 years, got to have a weekend away with my wife. My daughter Adrian's.
You still hungover from that?
Yeah, right. That wine bus trip was fun.
I was worried about you, Dave.
No, I survived.
It was like 9 o'clock.
Right away, Joe.
Listen, the greatest cure for this is we got to a bar. I show up. You get a double espresso followed by a Red Bull vodka. I mean, that just cleaned me up. I was perfect after that, and I survived till about 8:30.
You're an animal, but you were scaring me half to death. You were like, 3 sheets at it was like what, 10 o'clock, Jake?
10 o'clock was his departure, and then 3 sheets by 1.
Yeah, it was looking ugly. But hey, you seem like you survived.
I posted a 49ers helmet in a giant wine glass with corks.
That's right. I had to be telling. What is Dave up to? So on this trip, because it's our first time away from Adrian for this long, and she's with her grandparents, we're like, we have no idea how it's going to go. So we're doing the whole video conference thing. Let's get on the little phone here. We'll have a fun time. And this is the first time I got. No, that was the funniest part is she did get it. And she kept like, there's so Suzanne in there a little bit, then me in there a little bit. And then she kept looking at me like, Daddy. And she'd just be like, so eventually I got up on the phone and she would just be like,
Nice.
just constantly tipping her head back, laughing. Like, I'm like, am I just like some clown man to you?
That's what I like to be. I think that's great.
Yeah, I know. It was super endearing.
So
And
cute. So
it was very cute.
I mean, you must have missed the shit out of her since you haven't been gone from her that long.
So I have. I actually was going up to the Pacific Northwest for work early on when she was young for 3 days, and I'd come back and I would visually see she looked different. I mean, you guys know just as well as anybody that every day you wake up and you look at it, it was like, you're just a little bit different today. Like you can see it, or they sound a little different. Whatever those little tiny gains are, they're noticeable. Yeah. Or like Jordy, Elephant Boy, they all of a sudden have a they're snuffleupagus.
Green one morning, yeah.
So it was, it was pretty special to see her, one, in that form, but two, she bonded so much with grandparents that was pretty cool. Because I only had one grandparent, and to get to see her have four and get to bond with two right off the bat, and now she's like, she looks at the phone, and is like, Grandma, like she wants to like video call Grandma. Yeah. So it's really cute, and I'm happy about it, and it was a great 2 days or 2 nights by ourselves, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And then you're having a second kid, and you'll never do it again, I guess.
Yeah. Once you have number two.
Tostitos.
I was actually, we were chatting today, Suzanne and I, on our separate ways to work. We're like, that the next 2 to 3 years, we have no free, nothing. Just there's nothing to do except just survive.
Just be in a romantic relationship with your wife. That's what happens when you have 2 kids under 3 and under. Yeah.
We welcome the Lucas family and the Starkey family up to the ADU so that you can have your children play with mine while we all go out and party and have a good time and get a babysitter. So, hey, listen, there's possibilities are endless.
At the Napa ADU,
that's one heck of a babysitter.
I have one too.
Might need it.
All right.
Well, guys, you want to add some more flavors to this week? I mean, there's more that I want to talk about, but I think I could save it for next Thursday.
So the best MLB times Starkey, are you sufficient?
Or Sunday. Yeah, save it for Sunday.
Yeah.
Good point.
Sunday.
We'll do it Sunday.
Starkey, are there any more depressing Niners games you want to get out? Because I don't want to deal with this anymore.
I think I'm good. I got it out of my system.
It was
a fantastic Niners season, and I got one thing hanging over my head though for next year. I'm just bummed George Kittle. He's not going to be a part of it. So, otherwise I think we look very strong. This young defense I think really came on, and I can only imagine they'll improve. I'm also going to miss Saleh, but other than Kittle and Saleh, I think we're stronger.
Daniel and Harbaugh teaming up.
Yeah. Mike McDaniel. Is that what you said? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As Mike McDaniel has his OC now, Dave.
That's going to be a pretty intense AFC West, as Art pointed out in the last heat check pod.
What's so intense about it? Just the Chargers are going to
the roll. Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs make 3 tantalizing teams.
Yeah, I like the Harbaughs. Yeah,
Harbaughs. Yeah. Good shit.
Remember when we saw the yeahs try to back Muse and Beck?
Yes, I do. Right, the Shoreline.
Download Festival. We're talking 07 here. Muse wasn't very known. We had third row. Boy, did we have a good time.
Yeah. We did have a good time. We know a guy.
At
least Maganis knows a guy.
Who has a guy. So, yeah.
You know that same guy is who sold us tickets to what's it called? The Napa Festival.
Bottle Rock, which by the way, as many people,
year you guys went?
The same ticket broker sold us tickets to the 2007 thing as 2025.
Yeah, wow, 07 to 25.
Same dude.
By the way, I want Pete's ticket guy for this year. I want Pete's ticket guy for this year at Bottle Rock. I like that situation.
Hey,
that wasn't
to the McGonis family.
That's right.
If I don't know,
January 9th. Great birthday.
Huge.
Huh?
Great birthday for
Huge
Leo.
birthday.
It all works out numerology with the numerology and everything because Jordy was born 6/6/24, which equates to 666. I'll have you know, my buddy Pete McGonis was not happy about that birthday. But what are you gonna do?
You add it all up, it's 9. So you know.
Yep.
All right, so Kingfish Sunday, we'll see you there. We will be continuing to do Humm Daddies. Like and subscribe Thursday nights. Friday, we'll be releasing the video once again from the live pod and also the audio. And Heat Check Tuesday, make it happen. And I mean, Humm Daddies, we're rolling right now, man. It's going to be a fun break in football and see where we go with sports talk in the new year.
And hey, we'll be talking about women way more. And
chicks, none with dicks.
What's the schedule for Sunday? Which game's first?
So the first game's the AFC game. That's at 12. People can get to the Kingfish at 12 and then join us at 12:30. And the NFC game starts at 3:30. So that's kind of been the structure since the game. The Patriots won, and then the Niners lost to the Giants.
It's gonna be a rough. It's gonna be a rough first half hour because I got to rush in there and set up the entire podcasting shit while there's.
Dave. All right.
I don't know if we're gonna. It opens at noon, and that's when they're opening the door for us to get in there. So
we'll do the pod a little bit after.
We'll work it in there. Yeah, should be a good time.
We're gonna do a podathon, right? We're gonna have mix and match of the Heat Check and the Daddies.
Yeah, we'll do some classics, and then we'll do a little round robin, little tournament style.
We'll get in there. It'll be all good.
Jay can't wait to not be on TV.
Hey everyone, what's going on?
Sonic the Hedgehog. My internet sucked tonight too.
Very urgently worded messages to Sonic to the internet service right now.
I'm sure they'll be listening over there in India, whoever's taking your call, man.
To Bangladesh right now.
Thank you, Mum Babies, for helping Jake's internet move forward from the
guys,
customer service side. Appreciate it.
Base. Come on.
All right, we're going to wave goodbye. Humm Daddies, baby.
Humm Daddies.
See you Sunday.
Bye.